we can learn to adopt it, embrace it, and use it for the benefits that the technology is bringing, I think it's absolutely here to assist and not take over. It's the fear of the unknown. AI at the moment is bringing quite a lot of benefits and advantages that we keep hearing about, but at the same time, there's quite a lot of cultural nervousness as well with adopting the new technology. And I think that's created by the fear of the unknown. Like at the moment, it's still fairly new, being the technology being implemented into large organizations and medium organizations, but it's that fear of the unknown. So we don't know yet, how much can we trust these technologies, at the same time, how to even use them or implement them into our jobs. And so I think that's the misconception, is just that fear from not knowing what the technology is bringing is what's causing, I think, a cultural nervousness with adopting AI. And I think that to overcome that, one of the major work streams that we need to be having within our project plans and the implementation of this is a very clear communications work stream. And with that, comes a full-blown communications work stream that is started and initiated, from the very beginning, when that decision is made to implement the AI into the organization. It's having a very clear communications work stream within the project plan, and making sure that that communications work stream informs all the users that are going to be impacted of how of the operating model changes that technology will bring, as well as informing users how to use it. The admin users also will have different use cases, business users and how they are impacted. So it's communicating the project plan, the key milestones, how to use the technologies, and throughout the life of that implementation into organizations. And I think that's the key to overcoming those nerves, so to speak, from people within the organizations. Absolutely not. No, I think the key misconception again is, AI is not here to take over, it's here to assist. And then I think that's the key message is, of course it's here to help us be more efficient and make things go faster within our day-to-day jobs. However, it is there to assist. And I think, there are some tasks, certainly sort of in my change management and project management world, that take hours and hours, right? And I'll take as an example meeting minutes. After you've had a meeting, there needs to be a clear list of attendees, what the key discussion points were, any keynotes, what the agenda items were, any decisions made, a list of the attendees who attended and didn't, and crucially, what the key actions were from that meeting. Now, usually post-meeting, this can take, an hour, but sometimes longer, depending on what format you're producing the minutes in. I always say, meetings take hours, meeting minutes take hours to produce. So I think if we can eliminate those kind of laborious tasks, or reduce down their production time, going from, an hour, let's say, down to a minute or two, that allows us as individuals to then look at other items within our project backlogs, and look at what other things we can be delivering on behalf of the organization. And therefore, increasing our efficiency and value for the amount of, delivery we are able to execute within the same amount of, 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever it is that, we're currently doing for the organization. So, if we can learn to adopt it, embrace it, and use it for the benefits that the technology is bringing, I think it's absolutely here to assist and not take over. This is crucially having a very strong change management delivery framework. And I always believe that, change management and project management, core foundations and principles of implementing any technology. It doesn't matter whether it's a new cybersecurity tool, which is, my background, It doesn't matter whether you're demising technologies, whether you're implementing new AI technologies. I think the change management framework has to be the underlying principles that can really excel the adoption of all these new technologies, and also, sometimes the uncertainty that they bring. And so for me, it's a strong change management framework are the key principles to, adopting those new technologies within organizations. So, being very clear, as a project manager, being very clear on, the cycle of delivery from initiation to definition, execution, and then through to closure. But then also, even after closure is sort of like the operationalization of the new technology, the support models, the ongoing support for the users, the regular check-ins, post-implementation reviews, and knowing which documentation and which artifacts are required at each one of those stages as we go through that journey from initiation, definition, execution, and closure. And that then also, if you have a strong principles and delivery framework, it then also allows you to be very diligent in managing the different types of stakeholders as well. So, being able to know what kind of governance models and structures to set up in order to cater for the different types of stakeholders as well. So, for example, as a project manager who should know how to implement technology, you have to be able to lead delivery teams that are very technical in nature and almost speak a very different language to senior level management who are perhaps not as technically astute as the technical delivery team. So very often, a strong, solid project manager should be that bridge in between the technical SME teams and delivery teams, as well as the senior level stakeholders that one needs to manage, across the entire adoption of any new technology. So for me, it's very much having a very solid change management delivery team who bridge that gap of nerves when any new technology is being introduced to an organization. That the speech isn't about me. Every speech I deliver is absolutely not about me. Like, I'm there, based on my experience and helping to structure the talk that I'm giving. But for me, it's always about the audience. Like, I want the audience to be able to walk away having learned something from what I'm presenting, whether it's, one key takeaway. I hope it's a lot more than just the one, but as long as, the audience can take away some real, action-orientated delivery steps that I will always present. So for me, it's being able to walk away, having learned something new, but then actually, being informed and educated that on something that they can actually, start implementing straight away. So my talks are very much, I try to put in as many how-to sections in there, whether it's a 15-minute slot or a half an hour slot. Whatever I'm allocated to, I'll always put in some sort of a workshop on how to create something. So it might be like, how to create the weekly status report that we just touched on, how to create one of those one pages I was just alluding to, how to create a project plan, how to create an actions tracker. So there will always be these how-to steps, and I always do put into my talk so that the audience can walk away, not just having information thrown at them, but real actionable templates and tools that they can start implementing straight away.